Today is the day. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to make this video. I'm supposed to get a phone call about an hour. I'm supposed to make dinner. I'm supposed to make this webinar. And I'm supposed to maintain my sanity for the whole day. So I think my whole day is ruined. It just is. That's just the way it'll be because everything is not going my way. And I don't deserve it to go my way. I mean, why would I? Because I haven't done anything productive today. So of course, I am not going to have the flow. So that's the way it is. That's just the way it is. Hello everyone, this is Jenny Yetto from the Pixie Post, and I'm back with another edition of Mindful Monday. Thank you for stopping by to look at this video. If you do like my content, feel free to click like and subscribe or follow, and I would love to have you along with the journey and in our community. I'm laughing because you probably saw the intro and probably wondered, okay, should I continue watching this video? And really, it was just an act as far as that part goes. I was trying to give the example of how one's perspective can be so powerful and have such an impact on your way of thinking in the moment that you're in. And I've noticed this taking a big role in my life. Now, of course, we all have different perspectives. We all have different points of view. And that's really a good thing because we can learn from one another when we each have different views. We can actually maybe take something from that and help make ourselves a better person. Or we can just learn about each other and appreciate each other more. Even if we don't agree with all perspectives presented to us, we can still have a deeper respect for that view. What I've noticed, a different take on perspective, is a lot of us have a mindset of we tell ourselves a story. We tell ourselves that we're a certain person, that we are a certain way, that we do things in this manner, and that this is it, we're in a box, that's all she wrote, folks. And it really isn't that way. Reality is not that rigid. And it's interesting because I've been trying to reconnect with the cards that I used to use for my oracle card readings. And I actually looked at this deck today, The Universe Has Your Back by Gabrielle Bernstein. And it really has some nice affirmations in that deck. And the one I drew out today fit everything that I'm talking about now. My happiness is a direct reflection of my level of faith in the universe. Now, what I took from that is all about perspective. A lot of us look to our future for motivation, for inspiration, and to get us to achieve our goals that we set for ourselves. Now, excuse me if I'm tongue-tied. For some reason, I can't seem to talk today. The energy is resisting. But I'm going to get this out here. And I also noticed that when we tell ourselves that certain story, or that we are in a certain mood, or that we are this way, the universe will respond in kind. The universe does have our back in many ways. There is a plan, however you want to think of that as, for us. However, we have free will. We have our own way of doing things. And the universe will support that, whether it's positive or negative. And it all comes back to law of attraction and all the other fancy terms that we've been hearing all our lives. But for me, it's all about perspective. Now, I am totally guilty of that intro in reality. Sometimes I get so frustrated with things, especially when I'm not in the creative flow. For some reason, that really sets me off in a tizzy because my joy comes out of my content creation. I kind of see that as part of my identity. And even though we can change our identity at any given moment, when we choose to and decide to, I sometimes get stuck in that same story mentality. I see that I'm not flowing as well. I see the frustrations and the walls that start hitting because resistant energy starts flowing in that sense. Resistant energy starts up, and then it gets bigger and bigger because I'm in that mindset where my perspective is, oh, I suck, so it's going to continue to suck. And when we get into that mentality that limits us, it can get very, very dangerous. And granted, we're all going to have feelings. We're all going to have our days, maybe even our weeks. My couple weeks have been really weird. And your higher self is teaching you that you can get to the future self mentality a lot quicker by being more aware of it. We're all here to learn lessons. Time is not linear. There's a future self, there's a past self, and there's a present self. It's just a matter of aligning with that energy. So I finally had to take a step back out of that frustration, because yes, I did feel that frustration today. And I still feel it a little bit, but not to the point I was. I finally took a moment, breathed, and stepped back and said, okay, how do I want to feel? And how do I want to continue? And is this going to stop me? No, it's not. I don't exactly give up that easily. Now, for each of us, this is going to be different. You might have certain techniques that work for you. And if it works for you and gets you out of that mentality, go for it. But when it comes to perspective, remember, we all have a different perspective. There's always one truth to every story. And just because your perspective may be different from someone else's, doesn't mean it's wrong. But when we start telling ourselves a negative perspective and telling ourselves that we can't do things and that we are a certain identity and there's no fluidity and there's no flexibility, then something's got to give. So remember, if you're not happy with where you are right now, if you're not happy with the day, the way it's going, or just your 5 minutes of frustration, just let yourself know, okay, I can change this. I can change my energy. I can actually continue this point forward with a more positive mentality, or just by doing the best I can. Sometimes action helps and sometimes no action helps. It really depends on the situation. And I'm not saying it's easy because I still battle with this quite a bit. I'm on a learning path like all of you. I am far from perfect. But being more mindful and being more aware of what triggers you, what can help you, the more success you will have, the more confidence you'll have. And when you think of your future self, be that self. Even if you don't have all the physical things right now, step into the footsteps of your future self. You want to be more confident? Act more confident. If you want to be happy, be happy. Make that choice. Because you're here to be happy. You're here to be loved. You're here to help one another. And you're here to learn and grow. So when we all grow into better versions of ourselves and continue that path, the more we'll touch other lives and help them. And it's really a win-win scenario. So I'm sorry about my rambling today. It's a little all over the place, but those were my thoughts. I was really having a rough day, really struggling in that stuck type of energy. But I think this is really helping to remind myself and to remind any of you that perspective is just that. It's perspective. It can be changed at any time. It's just keeping our minds and hearts open to it, even if it's to ourselves. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this mini Mindful Monday. And until the next time, to know thyself is to know thy truth. Namaste.